Allow yourself to be present with your breath. Notice the breath. Feel your breath. Feel your fingertips. Bring yourself, your thoughts, everything into this physical body and cherish it. Welcome to Zenful Conversations. We're here in this community for women every single day. We're in our 6th year, and this year the conversation is a practice. The practice is the Book of Awakening by Mark Nepo. This New York Times bestseller is described as having the life you want by being present to the life you have. And the message we're offered for this day number 1850 is titled Nicodemus and the Truth. Nicodemus and the Truth. How can one be born again? Nicodemus to Jesus. I often think of Nicodemus, the one Pharisee who secretly believed in Jesus and who would meet with him anonymously at night to have deep spiritual conversations, but who would never acknowledge his questions of spirit or his association with Jesus in the light of day. Of course, this did nothing to the essence of Jesus, but traumatically thwarted and plagued Nicodemus for the rest of his days. Breathe with that. This story shows us the quiet pain that comes from not honoring what we know to be true. Even if all we know to be true are the questions that we're asking. It is even more useful to realize that we each carry a Jesus and a Nicodemus within us. That is, we each have a divine inner voice that opens us to truth and a mediating social voice that is reluctant to show its truth to others. The famous British child psychologist D.W. Winnicott called these aspects of our personality our true and false self. It is the true self that lets us know what is authentic and what has become artificial, while the false self is a diplomat of distrust, enforcing a lifestyle of guardedness, secrecy, and complaint. In everyday terms, this means that each time we experience a change in reality as we know it, each time we experience a change in reality as we know it, We must choose whether to declare or hide what we know to be true. At such moments, we either need to bring the way we have been living into accord with that shift of reality, or we need to resist the change. Let's hear that again. In everyday common language here, this means that each time we experience, each time you and I experience a change in reality as we currently know it, we must choose whether to declare or hide what we know to be true. At such moments, we either need to bring the way we have been living into accord with that shift of reality, or we need to resist the change. Thus, in daily ways, whether we live in our true or false self, depends on our willingness to stay real. And so over time, staying real becomes the work of keeping our actions in the world connected to the truth of our inner being, allowing our true self to see the light of day. Very often, we continue out of habit or fear to behave in old ways, even though we know that the way of things has changed. Time and again, I have found myself at this crucial juncture, having to admit that what was essential is no longer essential, and then needing to summon the courage to make the act of living essential again. I know that every time I hear or see the truth, but hold to the old way of being or thinking or relating, I am giving my life over to the NICODEMUS in me. And in so doing, I embark on a divided life in which I listen to the divine inner voice secretly at night, but deny it day after day. Inner conflict, such inner conflict. But this moment of inner embarrassment, when we catch ourselves in the act of split living, is also the recurring chance for us to honor once again what we know to be true. For anyone, no matter how wounded or how distressed, can in a moment of truth let the God within show itself out here in the world. However small or fleeting, this one repeatable act can restore our common and vital sense of being alive. Ooh, breathe with that for a minute. So we're talking about that inner conflict. We're talking about being true to ourselves. We're talking about being true. The meditation says to Sit quietly and recall the last time you felt a moment of inner embarrassment. That is, recall the last time you realized what you're doing was no longer authentic, but you kept doing it anyway. So recall the last time you realized what you were doing was no longer authentic, but you kept doing it anyway. Recall that. And if you can, meditate on what made you keep doing what you knew to be untrue. Think about that. Meditate on what made you keep doing what you knew to be untrue. What were you afraid would happen if you honored the truth as you felt it? If a similar situation were to happen tomorrow, how might you act differently? If you can, don't blame yourself for struggling like Nicodemus. Rather, comfort the Nicodemus in you, that it is safe to honor what it knows in the light of day. To thine own self be true, ladies. If not now, when? To me, it's just time. It's just time. These messages leave me speechless. They truly do. First time for everything, hey? Please visit zenfulconversations.com. Take a look around. Perhaps sign up for one of the awesome virtual offerings. It's a community for women only, but it's a beautiful, safe space. That's a lot of fun too. In true and honest gratitude. Namaste. See you tomorrow.